So hello, so in this video I'm going to show you how differentiation and the topic of calculus is solved. So we are going to use the question that was in 2020, paper 1, question 24, the last question. And the question asked, this is calculus, and the question, the displacement s meters of a moving particle after t seconds is given by. So displacement is s is equals to 2/3 t raised to 3 minus 7/2 t squared minus 6t plus 8. So remember, in this question we are using s as the displacement. So this is not speed, it is displacement. Determine the one. So when you are given this, so you are being asked 1a, velocity of the particle when t is equals to 5. Velocity when t is equals to 5. Okay, so how do you find velocity? Those who are doing physics know that displacement, or even if you are not doing physics, displacement is more of the distance that is covered from one point to the other. So how do you find speed? Speed is equals to distance over time. So what is velocity? Is displacement written as s. This one we can write speed so that you do not confuse with this. Velocity is displacement over time, the time it is taken. So in other words, it is change in s over change in t. You can say ds over dt, or you can write this ds over dt. I hope I have not digressed so much from my work, but I just wanted to show this. Now, you can say velocity is change in s over change in t, or ds over dt. So it is differentiation. That one you know. So what is ds over dt? How do you differentiate this one? You say, you bring this here, the 3, you say 3 times 2/3. Then t, if it was 3, you minus 1. You go next, minus this one, 2 times 7/2. You note that in this question you can put a dot to imply times or a multiplication. Then t raised to 2 minus 1 minus 6. So this one is raised to 1. If it is not indicated and there is a t, it means it is raised to 1. Therefore, it is 1 times 6 t 1 minus 1. It was raised to 1, then you subtract 1. Then plus 8. 8, we will assume there was a t here, but the t was raised to 0. Remember, any number raised to 0 is 1. Is 1. So t was raised to 0, therefore it became 1. We didn't indicate it, it was 8. So now this 0 times 8 times t raised to 0 minus 1. However this occurs, this 0, the 0 times anything becomes 0. So this one is null. We don't indicate it, or you can indicate it and cancel 0 times. Then here you can now write, well, you have 3 cancel with 3, you have 2t and raised to 2, 3 minus 1, minus these 2 and 2 go, you have 7t raised to 2 minus 1 is 1, so you don't indicate it. Then you have 1 times 6 is 6t. Hope you don't write 1.6. Remember, it is a multiplication. If you will confuse, just use a multiplication there instead of the dot. Then t, 1 minus 1 is 0. Raised to 0 is equals to 1, so you don't indicate it. And then this one is done. So this is the differentiation, is the answer of ds over dt, or this is the gradient that was required. But the question asks, what is the gradient at t is equals to 5? So you can replace where there is t, you put 5. So therefore, you have ds over dt when t is equals to 5 is equals to 2, 5 squared minus 7, 5 minus 6. This is 2 times 5 squared, 25. This is 50 minus 35 minus 6. 50 minus 35 is 15 minus 6 is 9. So it is 9. 9 what? The gradient has no units, it's 9. dt ds over dt. So it's the velocity. So velocity is equals to dt. So velocity is given as meters. Remember, this was meters per second. S was in meters. The displacement S meters. So this one is meters per second. And this is your answer for part A. But in 2020, if you do that, you get 3 marks. Obviously, you have 1 mark for correct this, for correct the differentiation, 1 mark. Then you have another mark for replacing this M1. Then you have A1. Those are 3 marks. We go to the next question. Time, t seconds, when the particle is momentarily at rest. We are being asked find t when the particle is momentarily at rest. Momentarily at rest. So if you throw a particle, the best way to illustrate this is when you throw a stone up, it goes up, it is moving. Then at some point, it will make a turn when it is coming down. At that very point, we say it is momentarily at rest. So it is not moving. Alright? So the velocity of that particle is 0. Therefore, to solve this question, you equate the equation. Remember this one, the velocity is for time v, t is equals to 5. Remember, the velocity will keep changing. But now, at some point, the velocity is 0. So we are being asked, what is the time when v is 0? So you come and equate this equation when t is equals to 0. Sorry, not t, the velocity itself. So this is what you do. Is it? I hope this is clear on this side. Or you can rubber. Okay. We are going to do it here. So the question part B, find t when particle is momentarily at rest. When the particle is momentarily at rest, v is 0. Therefore, what is our equation for v? V is equals to 2t squared minus 7t minus 6. So this one is 0. Find t. So this is a quadratic equation. Now this one brings me to something that I've been insisted for a very long time. What you need to understand is Form 1 and Form 2 mathematics first. So see, you cannot solve this if you don't know. You are not good in Form 1, Form 2 mathematics. Now this one, there are different methods you can solve this. You can use quadratic formula, or you can also use factorization method. So the best method here, whichever you are good at, we can use either. But now let us see. This one, the equation is in the form a x squared plus b x plus c equals to 0. Quadratic formula. We look for two factors where a, c, and you write b. We are looking for two factors here. If you multiply them, they give you AC, where our AC is 2 times negative 6, which is negative 12. And our, let me indicate well so that it is visible. This is negative 12. And our B is negative 7. So we are looking for two factors. When you multiply them, they give you negative 12. If you add them, they give you negative 7. Yes. What factors are those? You can have the multiples of this. You can have, let's say you have 2 and 6. If you add them, they give you 8 or 4. What about 3 and 4? If you have 1, if both are negative, you can, if you add them, they'll give you negative 7. But if you multiply them, they not give you that. So there's no other factor. Now, we have seen you need to be conversant with all methods. The quadratic, factorization method is not possible to get the value of t when the velocity is 0. Why? When it is impossible, it means that t is a fraction. It has a decimal. It has decimals. Therefore, you change this and use the quadratic formula. So it is important to understand the quadratic formula. Again, this one remains a x squared plus b x plus c equals to 0. So what is our a? A is 2. What is our b? Our b is negative 7. And what is our c? Our c is negative 6. And what is the formula? I think we can delete this side so that it is clear. The quadratic formula is given as x is equals to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. So you need to have this in your fingertips, but it is also in this case we are not looking for x, we are looking for t. So t is equals to b negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So you just come and fill this. You say where there is b is negative 7. So what is negative b? It is 7. So you can say negative then negative 7. Or you can say now it is positive 7. Okay, let's just continue. B squared negative 7 squared minus 4a is 2, c is negative 6 over 2a. So this is your, and now at this point you are using the quadratic formula. So remember, this is t is equals to, this is positive 7, negative times negative, plus or minus the square root of, what is the negative 7 times negative 7? It is 49, positive. Then this negative and this negative, we have said it will become positive. Therefore, negative 4 times 2 is 8. Then negative 8 times negative 6 becomes positive 48 over 2 times 2 is 4. Therefore, here you have 7 plus or minus. This is square root of 97 over 4. So this is why this answer had the fractions. the fraction. So this is 7 plus or minus over square root of 97 square root QRT 97, which is 9.8488. So you can say 8489 because you have some numbers. But again, our t is time, so we can just save ourselves and use 85 because we are talking about time. Even 0.1 is enough. We continue. So our t is either 7 plus 9.85 over 4 or 7 minus 9.85 over 4. Remember, plus or minus. So you can start with plus, then the second is minus. So here is t is 7 plus 9, that is 16.85 divided by 4. 16.85? 16.85 divided by 4. It is 4.2125 seconds. Then this one is negative. This is negative because it's 7 minus 9 and time cannot be negative. Time cannot be negative. So this is the answer. When your velocity is equals to 0. When t is equals to 0, the particle is momentarily at rest. What is t? When v is 0, you solve for that. You form this equation, you equate to 0, then you solve it using the quadratic formula. Remember, I said that time will have some decimal because it refused to, it didn't work for the factorization method. Yes, so this is the answer for part B. Now, the next question, part C, asks the displacement. I wish I did not delete the question, but I think I'll indicate it there. The question. Now we are being asked for the displacement when the particle is momentarily at rest. There are two equations I will write. The first is the question that was displacement is equals to 2 over 3 t cubed minus 7 over 2 t squared minus 6 t plus 8. And here we have velocity, which is change in s over change in t, is equals to 2t squared minus 7t minus 6. This is the velocity. So this question part C asks, what is the displacement? Displacement m meters when the particle is momentarily at rest. So this is what we had, momentarily at rest. The previous question part B was asking the time when the particle is momentarily at rest. Now to find the displacement, this you need to find what is t, right? So okay, you have to replace t here so that you find the displacement in meters per second. Therefore, now we have our time. The answer for this time was 4.2125 seconds. I think it was, let me just confirm. Yes, it was 4.2 when v is 0. When v is 0, this is the time. Therefore, you just take this. This question is for 2 marks. So you just take this and replace with t is that s is equals to 2 over 3, 4.2125 cubed minus 7 over 2, 4.2125 squared minus 6, 4.2125 plus 8. Then the answer that you get, you write in meters per second. You can confirm this, if you put this in your calculator, this is the answer that I got. I got you're going to get negative 29, negative 29.548 or 55 meters per second. So you will be asking whether displacement can be negative. Yeah, so some of you will say if distance cannot be negative but displacement can, because it depends on which direction you are going. Because in vectors, you remember, when you go on a certain path, you are told it is A, but coming back is negative A. Vectors is the same with the displacement. So this particle was displaced in a negative direction when the particle was momentarily at rest. So this is the answer. Now, you go to the last bit of this question, which is asking, the last bit of question asks, acceleration of the particle when t is equals to 4 seconds. Acceleration of the particle, acceleration, part D, acceleration of the particle when t is equals to 4 seconds. So what do you know about acceleration? When a car is accelerating, it is increasing its speed. Gari ilikuwa imesimama mahali halafu imeanza kwenda. So unaona speed yake inaenda increase. That is change in speed. So in this case it is change in velocity. Change in velocity, the same concepts with speed and speed, time, distance and the rest also applies here. So acceleration is change in velocity over change in time. Obvious, when from this time to the next time wakati hiyo gari na increase, time ina change too. Therefore, you differentiate, what equation do you differentiate? This one for velocity. So we are going to differentiate this here. So acceleration is equals to change, you can say dv over dt is equals to, what is, how do you differentiate this? You say 2 times 2, then t, 2 minus 1, minus, this is like 1, so 1 times 7, then t, 1 minus 0, then you have, here there's t raised to 0, so when you multiply this it disappears. So you don't need to indicate it, I had shown you how it is done in the first place. So here, this is 4 t raised to 1 minus 7. This is a multiplication, remember. So 7 t raised to, sorry, so this one was t raised to 1, then minus 1, it becomes 0. So this is the acceleration equation. But we are told, find acceleration when t is 4 seconds. When time is 4 seconds. So acceleration is 4, where there is t, you put 4, minus 7. So this is 16 minus 7. This is 9 meters per second squared. Remember, acceleration, velocity you give in meters per second. This one, velocity is equals to meters per second. But acceleration, because it is the second differentiation of this. The second differentiation, you differentiate first the s, then as you go the second time, you use s squared. So this is the answer that was required here. And if you get that, you get how many marks? You get 2 marks in the second part. So part A was 3 marks, part B was 3 marks, part C was 2 marks, part D was 2 marks.